Cuban Gooding Jr. played on Boys in the Hood. He played Trey, which is one of my. That's a very, very good movie. The only problem with Boys in the Hood is that it portrayed African American males in a bad way, as thugs, gangster. But his character was a very beta male. He was a very nice, friendly, sheltered African American boy. His father's very strict. His father did not want his son Trey to end up dead in jail, in the streets, a drug addict, a junkie, a drug dealer. He's like most African American fathers who love their sons. Very strict. He always gave his son chores to do, go outside, rake the yard. He put fear in his son. And I think by the end of the movie, Trey has to decide right from wrong. Through the whole movie, he wants to do bad. He wants to get in trouble, but he has to. It's up to the man has to decide if he wants to turn to a life of crime or to a life of education. And by the end of the movie Boys in the Hood, we find that Trey actually turns to a life of education. I think he goes to college, and he probably going to be a successful man with a family. Um, but anyway, I just want to say that. But Cuban Gooding Jr. had a pretty good life. He played People versus O.J. Simpson. I think that seasons 1 and 2 about the life of O.J. Simpson, which he did pretty well, but he wasn't convincing because he doesn't look nothing like O.J. Simpson. Cuban Gooding Jr. doesn't look anything like O.J. Simpson. That was my biggest. He's shorter than him too. I think Cuban Gooding Jr. is like 5'8". O.J. Simpson is like 6'1". So it's a little weird, and they're just two different people. They don't look alike, but it's still a good series. That was my biggest problem, that Cuban Gooding Jr. doesn't look anything like O.J. Simpson. But besides that, it was a pretty good series. I think the show came out 3 4 years ago. It was pretty good. Anyway, besides that, Cuban Gooding Jr. it has ended up just like Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was accused of sexual harassment and it went from 2014 to 2018. He was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. He's totally blind, Bill Cosby. He's in prison right now, crying his eyes out, suffering. He can't even be with his wife. It's so horrible. But Cuban Gooding Jr. was accused of touching a white woman's a leg or something, inappropriately touching a white woman. And they have it on camera. He didn't even do anything. There was nothing sexual. He didn't just kiss her. He didn't grab her butt. He didn't touch her. He didn't force himself on her. There was nothing sexual about it. He just tapped her. I think on the leg or touched her on her shoulder or something like that. And I guess she took it the wrong way. And he went to trial. And now his life is completely ruined over this. I don't know if he was arrested or what. I have to dig into this. But I just think it's horrible that white women can accuse a black guy of something, and the black guy goes to jail over it. And there's no proof. There has not been no trial. There was a trial for Michael Jackson, O.J. Simpson, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby never had a trial. Bill Cosby was just, they didn't even investigate Bill Cosby case. They just said, well, he's a black guy. He obviously had sex with all those women. There was no proof that he did any of that stuff. There's never been a trial for Bill Cosby. Which is kind of stupid. It's like they're taking the white woman's word over the black guy's word. But anyway, Cuban Gooding Jr.'s career has been suffering because of what he was accused of, even though he didn't do anything. It was weird that they have the footage. They have somebody filmed it and he didn't do anything. He just like touched her on the leg, I think, or on her shoulder, but he didn't touch her inappropriately. He didn't. I didn't see that sexual harassment. It's really crazy that and this is nothing new. For generations, for decades, a lot of white women have been accusing black men of sexual harassment. He's looking at me the wrong way. I don't feel comfortable around this black guy. He touched my shoulder. Oh my God, I didn't like it the way he was shaking my hand. He shook my hand. I didn't like the way he was shaking my hand. Or he was staring at my butt, or he was looking at me sexually. Like he's gonna touch me. So and then that guy ends up going to jail for it. Over a white woman's lie. Or at a nightclub, a white girl was dancing with a black guy, but she said it was so sexual. He was kept touching me while we're dancing. So the black guy goes to jail because he's dancing with a white girl at a nightclub. It's all crazy, So that's why I say you got to be real careful with anybody, with any race of women. For a lot of guys out there, just be careful about who you're dancing with, who you're dating. If this woman is a woman, know they have the power to have a man locked up. If a woman says he did this, there has to be an investigation. They have to give you a trial. They have to see what happened. They have to investigate it. Even if you didn't do anything. You might have just say hi to the woman. She said she might have, you could be walking past a woman, you say hi to her. She could have said, "Oh my God, he said I want to have sex with you," and then they got to investigate what he said and take him to jail and all. Oh my goodness, interrogate him. So I just wanted to say, just be careful, guys out there. Mr. J here, peace. But Cuban Gooding Jr. right now has been suffering. He hasn't really done any movies lately, and his career is going pretty down. He's kind of staying up right now in 2020. He's kind of staying out the spotlight. His father had just died, so he's going through a lot. He's dealing with sexual harassment. His father's died. He just died about a year ago, and he's going through a lot. Mr. J here, peace.